What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex. In this video, we got to go over yet again another bad story. I think in terms of the videos that are going up today, I do 3 on Podcast Now, 1 on Podcast Now Plus. 3 of the 4 are bad. We got a game being shut down, we got a studio being shut down, we got Fable being delayed, and then now we have this. So not a great track record for the gaming industry on what is Tuesday, February 25th, the day they'll live in infamy. But let's talk about Striking Distance Studios. Let's talk about the makers, of course, of the Callisto protocol. Now, I'm not going to say that we were too tough on this game or the game deserved better. I'm not going to throw around those kind of that jargon. Look, the game I think was fine. I don't think it was anything special. I think my expectations were very, very high. I was personally let down for a variety of reasons. Some people will complain about the technical side. You could talk about the story. You could talk about the character. You could talk about like the end boss. Several things with this game, or telling the rest of its story in DLC. Lots of different issues. But Glenn Schofield obviously abandoned ship, right? And I respect that guy a ton. I mean, he is a genius, and he's been around obviously for a very, very long time in the industry. I don't blame him, and he's got to do what he's got to do. He leaves, right, a couple of years ago. And what we had heard, I think back in August of 2023, is they had laid off 32 people, okay? But the studio was still going. They were still making a new game, and the rumor, I believe, was their new game was going to be a third-person multiplayer game. Now, I am not a gigantic fan of pivoting. I guess you got to do what you got to do. We know the Callisto protocol didn't work. We know that I think everybody involved was kind of disappointed with the sales and the reception and everything. The sales being kind of the most important, though, right? Like, it did not, in terms of money, it didn't work. So do I blame them that much for pivoting to multiplayer? Like, maybe it's live service, I don't really blame them all that much, because it's like, well, you got to do what you got to do, and you see it as an opportunity. And granted, you did try the other thing, single player, but it failed. So it's like, okay, I can understand how you make it this far. I don't think it's the greatest idea of all time, but okay, that was the idea. That was the that's I think the report. I don't know if that's actually confirmed that that's what they were making. Well, there's a story today from PlayStation Universe. Striking Distance Studios has reportedly laid off most of its developers. Now, I think one specific person, this Jesse Lee, who served as a concept art director, posted that most of the devs were laid off at the studio. And one specific thing they say, I'm extremely proud of the work we did there and the people I worked with, building up and leading talented concept art teams, providing a vision for 2 beautiful games through a lot of caffeinated days and nights, and with some of the most amazing and skilled artists. So you didn't really need confirmation they were working on another game besides Callisto Protocol, but there you go. Again, not, it's bad. It's bad. I'm trying to, talk about the Callisto Protocol, and they're kind of past, but it's another just not good story. Now, we don't know all of it. It's possible there's still some people there, but, when you got people posting on social media that, most of the team is gone, I'm starting to get a little worried, about their original multiplayer third-person game. Because, it's like, well, if you got 20 people working on it, you had 100 people, I don't think that game's ever coming out. Honestly, it feels like this is the step towards eliminating as many people as you can, while also just keeping, whatever base you want, and then taking that base and moving them on to other things, right? You're going to help work on that game. You're going to help work with that studio, etc., etc. You're not working on your own thing. This studio is not making their own original games anymore. That stuff I hate. That is, and we talk about a lot on all of my channels, right? These ideas that you can't have redemption, you can't have one kind of mediocre but slightly maybe above average type game. We've said it before. I think I said it with Callisto Protocol. A lot of great games in the history of gaming, they need the first game to not be amazing. I always go back to, and I think it's a good one. I could go to Sly Cooper, of course, my favorite franchise. I love all of them, but Sly 1, is a little bit weaker. Sly 2, the jump between Sly 1 and 2, enormous. Uncharted is the one I most of the time go to, in terms of, okay, Uncharted 1 is a good game, but, it's, you look at Uncharted 1 to 2, you look at a lot of games from 1 to 2, and the jump, and if they weren't allowed to do it, right? If they were judged only off of that first game, it's not much. It's not much to go off of, and you would never get the greatness that those studios were capable of giving us. Now, nowadays, you don't get second tries. You don't get 2 opportunities to do it. So studios now, this studio, is judged off of 1. Who knows? Callisto Protocol 2 could have been 60% better than 1, which would have probably been a really good game. You know what I mean? You would have had that. I go to to Days Gone as a good example. Days Gone, judging them off of Days Gone, I mean, you have to. But at the end of the day, if they were given the chance or they wanted to, whatever, if they did a Days Gone 2, okay, if it's 50, 60, 70% better than the first one, you're looking at a really fantastic game. And instead, you have to only say, okay, well, they did that first game. But they were never allowed to take those ideas, learn from the mistakes, and then make a new one, right? And implement those changes. Same thing here. So I don't think they get another try. It is sad because I do think a Callisto Protocol 2 or some other Dead Space hybrid type thing, using the lessons they learned from Callisto Protocol, I think would have been fine. I think would have been better than fine. And we're just not in that era anymore. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure, as always, you're subscribed to the channel, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.